Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading. If you are an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is where you need to be. Today we're going to be taking a look at your upcoming month of May. Excuse me. Your upcoming month of May. And in order to do that, we are going to be taking a look at these oracle cards first, and then we're going to move over here to your tarot. We're going to take a look at your overall month of May, as well as your love and relationships, career and finances, and health and spirituality. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The videos have overall been quite short. I don't think a single one has gone over 30 minutes. Also, all of these decks that I use today are going to be in the description box below, as well as the link to book a personal reading with me if that is something you're interested in. If not, I am just happy to be here with you. Like, comment, subscribe if these are helpful to you. It helps the algorithm and helps keep food on my table. All right, so we have elderflower here with warding. So there is a warning here to kind of make sure that your physical and metaphysical guards are pretty strong. If you do actual metaphysical warding, like on your property, did one flip up? No. Make sure those are all good, that all your mirrors are locked, shit like that. And then two, I'm seeing this little fae thing here. The beginning of May is a time when we tend to believe that the fae is about to like go on their wild hunt. So maybe, you know, if you're of the more spiritual or pagan belief system, like making sure you leave milk and honey out there for them so that they are pleased with you and don't try to like steal your keys or your garden gnomes or anything like that. And then we have in a relationship, family oriented and ideological differences. That makes me think that it's maybe someone that you have interest in. I feel like for some of you, if they're in a relationship, the person they're in a relationship with does spell work or maybe even works with the fae. And it might, like, say you get a little flirty with the person you're interested in and you don't realize they're in a relationship, but their person realizes that you're flirting with them, they might get upset. So that's something you might just want to like if that sounds true, if that's resonating with you in some weird way, like maybe don't be flirting with nobody this month. Or at least make sure they're not in a relationship first, right? So we have the lady in her peasant form, and then we have the anchor here. 29 and 35. Anchor is about stability and the willingness to make a sacrifice for something that you want. Usually a connection with another person, right? With lady, we are talking about feminine energy here. I tend to identify this particular lady as a feminine energy who doesn't see herself fully, who doesn't see her own beauty correctly. Both of these stories, oddly, like where you're talking about fae here for a second, and this is actually from Cinderella and this is from The Little Mermaid. Maybe if you're still into like Disney movies and fairy tales and stuff, like maybe, I almost want to tell you like not to go back and rewatch any of the Disney movies. I almost want to tell you like to hunt down older versions of these stories and seeing if there's anything there that is a message for you or something that would be of comfort to you this month. I'm also looking at like the pale green color of like this elder wine and all the pale green here. So maybe pale green is a color that you're super attracted to this month. Maybe you'll be wearing a lot of pale green, like spring green, something like that. We have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Let's see what else we have here. See what those Eight of Pentacles are talking about. We have the Four of Cups. And we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. So with the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, it makes me think of like sloppy work, right? Sloppy work. Four of Cups is boredom, distraction, dissatisfaction. And then the Ten of Swords in the reverse is when we're not allowing a painful ending to occur. The original story of The Little Mermaid, she literally traded her soul for legs. And I believe the prince still didn't choose her in the original story. And so maybe we're taking the lady, like if we're going down that path, come with me. Maybe we're taking the lady more to mean someone who doesn't see their own worth, more than talking about the story of Cinderella, right? How low of self-worth would you have to sell your soul for legs, for love? Like, how much self-loathing would you have for that? I feel like maybe you're pining after someone that you cannot have, and you've been pining for a while. And like other people maybe even present themselves to you, and you're like, no, you're not this person. And it's possibly even disrupting other things in your life. That's not like you, Aquarius. It's really not. With the Ten of Swords in the reverse, the universe is really, really trying to get you to let this go. And it could be because the fantasy of this person being in limerence, it feels good and it prevents you from addressing something else that actually hurts. And I am saying this as someone who has been limerent over someone quite recently. I was limerent over someone for 2.5 years who made zero effort to pursue me romantically, not even as a friend, really. And the only time he would ever engage, we worked together, and the only time he would ever engage me is when he needed to, because he needed something for work, and he knew I liked him. So he would kind of flirt like a tiny bit, partially to get along and be amicable, but also partially because he knew I liked him. And I was more likely to do things for him if he kept that little spark alive. When he finally got moved to a different shift, he wouldn't answer any of my messages. and I had to let him go. I realized how wrong I was. Because I came up with all kinds of reasons. Like, I had heard a lot of rumors about his ex and what she was like, and I knew he was super shy, and I blamed all of it on those two things. I blamed all of it on those two things rather than reconciling with my own loneliness. And I don't normally go into personal stories on this channel, but I'm going into that one because I feel like someone needs to hear it. Because there's no shame in becoming limerent over someone. Okay, if we become limerent over another person, that's a sign of a deeper problem, and it's a sign of deep unhappiness. And trust me, I went into a solid depression. And part of the reason I went into a very super solid depression about that is because I had to face how much time I wasted on a fantasy when other men wanted me very badly. And why did I not actually let any of those men have a chance? Because they weren't him. I spun it 50 different ways, but that was the reason. They weren't him. So I tell you this to urge you to stop wasting your own time. Rip off the Band-Aid and allow your healing to start right now. A fantasy cannot hold you at night. A fantasy cannot be there when you need them. And maybe, you know, if your fantasies are real good, you can have a conversation with them, but you're the only one having it, sweetheart. You're the only one having it. So, all of that aside, let's move on to your love and relationships and see how big of a disaster this in fact is. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I told you all that for no reason, but let's see. It's not a tree cat reading unless I yeet a card off the table. Okay. We have the Page of Swords in the reverse. Not listening to advice, taking bad advice, potentially even gossip. And then we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, which came out with the Three of Pentacles. Are you literally living the story I just told you? Three of Pentacles is teamwork, and it can refer to coworkers. And it's in your love and relationships portion. Coworker or teamwork, but then over here with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, either being like super, super drugged down by limiting beliefs or being so goddamn arrogant that you might need a limiting belief just to bring you down to reality. And again, not listening to other people, which was something else I didn't do. Gossip, what have you. Yeah, Aquarius, if you like somebody, it is not a secret. It is definitely not a secret. And there might even be people trying to tell you, like, you're wasting your time. This person's in a relationship. You have ideological differences. That's a big thing, honestly. Ideological differences are a very difficult thing to overcome. So, yeah, just saying. You gotta sit with yourself, Aquarius. You got to sit with yourself. Detach from other people. Reattach to self. Okay. Now then. Let's move on to your career and finances and see what's over there. Okay. Well, come here. No. Lord. We have the Ace of Spears in the reverse. Having ideas and not revealing them to other people, not being ready to reveal them. And we have the Ace of Cups. Interesting. So some of you could be thinking about moving or getting into a new home, but you're not ready to talk about that just yet, just because the Ace of Cups can talk about a new home. It can talk about a new home. It can talk about a new relationship, but with career and finances, that wouldn't make a lot of sense. Some of you are thinking about moving. But again, you're still in the idea stage. That's exciting. And I mean, if part of the reason you're thinking about moving is because you think that your limerence won't end until you are physically away from this person, I'm sorry to tell you that you are correct. The primary advice that therapists give you when you are limerent over someone is to cut contact, no matter what that means. When it's a work situation, that's a lot harder. If it's a live together situation, that's also super hard. But yeah. I feel like, yeah, like there's... But I also feel like one of the reasons you're thinking about moving is, I feel like it's not just this. I feel like this is a big catalyst for it, but it's not just that. Like, you might feel like you've just kind of outgrown the place you were currently in, right? So let's move on to your health and spirituality and see what we have over there. We have the Star in the reverse, card number 17, Aquarius energy. So we're not feeling great. We're questioning ourselves. We feel like we're not in the right place. We're not doing the right things. That's the other thing being limerent over another person is going to do to you. Because part of it is being in a cycle of fantasizing that you can be with this person, that they actually love you, they're just not saying anything, but also being in a cycle of like wondering why. And coming up with all these reasons why they won't come towards you. And sometimes they have to do with you. Now, rejection is never actually about us. It's about the other person. But you will keep yourself in a very bad place mentally. Because what lies at the core of limerence for a lot of people is the belief that they're not worthy of love. Therefore, it's safer to live out a fantasy. Because then you don't have to actually try to have a relationship with anybody. So yeah, I feel like we don't feel good about ourselves. And the quickest way you're going to start feeling better about yourself is if you break this. You need to wake up. I mean that with a lot of love. You need to wake up. You will literally waste away if you don't. Okay? Now then, with the Page of Pentacles here, we are realizing that we need to fix things. And it looks like you're even a little excited about it. The Page of Pentacles in the uphand is excited by the work that lies ahead of them, which is a fantastic feeling. What I will warn is that if you do decide to move, remember that wherever you go, there you are. Moving is not going to fix whatever internal problems or wounds that you have. You're going to take them with you. But if you are in a place where you don't connect with anybody anymore, you don't know how to disconnect from someone that you are pining after, at the very least, moving will give you the time and space to work on the shit. That was my experience with moving. God, we're really getting to know Tree Cat today. I had moved from Illinois because I felt like I didn't connect with anyone anymore. And when I lived there, I was so busy trying to chase connections with like friendships and family members that didn't feel like they really wanted a relationship with me. And it was preventing me from doing any kind of work on myself. Once I moved away, it created enough distance that I was no longer distracted by trying to chase after those people who didn't want me. I found other people to chase after. Yes, but eventually I figured out that I needed to chase myself. Moving will help create the distance. It will not fix the problem. Stay excited about working on yourself. Stay excited about the person you will become. Okay? In the case of your reading, Aquarius, it was not the happiest. But it has a glimmer of hope, right? So I definitely would encourage you to check out your other reads to see what else May has in store for you, just to give you a little bit more of a clue of what other things are happening for you, what to work on. Maybe I don't think I dropped any clues about moving in the other read, but maybe I did and I don't remember. I don't always remember what I say, I just say it. So, but that is all I have for you. Thank you for coming to your reading. I'm sorry it wasn't the happiest, but it will be fine, especially if you start working on yourself. Okay? So, I will see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.